evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of the Cali Effect. Today we are going over the extra deck Monarchs, and the reason why we're going over extra deck Monarchs is for multiple reasons. The first reason is everybody knows how to play Domain Monarch. It's a very simple build. There's not really much changes that you can make to the Domain Monarch. But extra deck Monarch, it's literally play your Monarch cards and then the rest of the cards play whatever you want. I just want to show how ridiculous this deck is, playing just whatever you want. I decided to mix a lot of combos and variants, and I feel like this deck is really effective. Would I take it to a tournament? That's a good idea. I probably would. I don't know why. It's at first I did it as a joke, but now it's just so good. Just to let you guys know, this video is brought to you guys by Ultimate Guard. If you want the best protection for your cards, then Ultimate Guard is the way to go. Let's get to the deck profile though. 3 copies of Aether. Aether is the #1 Monarch in the deck, period. Being able to tribute summon on your opponent's turn is awesome, and then its effect to special summon monsters from deck and send spells and traps to the graveyard, it only makes it even more awesome. Next is 2 copies of Urbis. I wanted to play 3 copies, but 2 copies actually felt like a really solid for it. I never needed it multiple times, and when you do summoning, it's amazing. Being able to send spells and traps still at the same time is great. It's also an out to your Cosmo cards, or to your opponent's Cosmo cards. Next is 2 copies of Overdrive Teleporter. This is where the deck starts to get crazy, like insane, stupid. Like, why are you even playing cards like this? Overdrive Teleporter allows me to make, wait for it, drumroll, Beatrice. I know, it's just stop, I know. And Beatrice allows me to get instant access to basically my whole deck, send cards to the graveyard. Basically, through the Overdrive Teleporter combo, you're gonna plus so much that paying 2,000 isn't even gonna be like, you know, it's gonna be worth it. Next is 2 copies of Quick Draw Synchron. I know, you're playing Ultimate Zomea as well with the Overdrive Teleporter build? Yes. Why? Because like I said, I want to prove that you can play as many wacky cards in this deck as possible, and it still works. And this deck is literally just a compilation of all of the best decks that are out right now. Quick Draw Synchron, you never synchro summon with it, quote unquote, because you're making Ultimate Zomea. And at worst case scenario, you use it to exceed summon. It's a free summon. 1 copy of Karaz. I really actually had to cut room to make room for Karaz. I really like this card. I wanted to play multiple copies. There was actually a point in time where I was forced to pay 0 because it was really hard to get Karaz in there. 3 copies of Eidos. Eidos, the Underworld Squire, is amazing, and the reason why we play 3 copies is because it allows us to tribute summon, and it still allows us to go into the extra deck. The graveyard effect for him to banish the special summon is the effect that prevents us, but this effect allows me basically to go into all of my Monarchs when I want it, however I want it. 1 copy of Super Quantum Blue Layer. It works with the it works with the Overdrive Teleporter. He's just an amazing effect. He's an E-teleport target. It searches my red layer. 1 copy of Red Layer. For the exact same reason why I play Blue Layer. Blue Layer searches Red Layer. Red Layer can special summon himself, be tribute fodder. More often than not, I only run 1 and 1 because this shuffles this, and this searches this, and this special summons this to shuffle this. So it's no reason to run multiple copies. 1 copy of Adia. I absolutely hate this card, and I know it's like I went from loving this card to hate this card, mainly because when you summon it, you can't special summon from your extra deck. So if I'm using the effect to special summon, I can't special summon from the extra deck. Room was tight, so I could cut it down to 1, and more often than not, I only use it to send it to the graveyard with Beatrice to add my Pantheism. 1 copy of Jet Synchron. Jet Synchron is another awesome card. Being able to discard cards from my hand and special summon himself. He's a level 1 tuner. He makes 6s. He's tribute fodder at the very worst. So many crazy combos with this card. 1 copy of Ghost Ogre for the side drive teleporter combo. It's also a good card in itself. Gem Knight Leslie. Gem Knight Leslie is basically to add the #1 card in the deck. I'll talk about the #1 card best. And yes, I am running the Gem Knight, the Brilliant Fusion Engine too. Like I said, this deck is nuts. Run whatever you want. Dark Witch, hands down the best card of the deck. I was gonna play Jax Knight, but I realized Dark Witch is so much better. Look at her. Look at her. It came from Magic Ruler. You can't name how many Dark Witches, you know, see this type of shine. But Dark Witch, hands down, best card of the deck. For spells, 3 copy of Pantheism, Draw Engine, Search Engine, all in 1 card. 3 copies of the Monarch Stormforth. I like tributing my opponent's monsters, and when I tribute my opponent's monsters, I don't mind going, you know, not going to the extra deck. Especially since it works so well with Aether. I tribute on their turn, and I don't go in the extra deck on their turn, so it's like, you know. 3 copies of Domain. I'm running 3 Domain, 0 Monarchs, the Return of the Monarchs, and my reasoning behind that is this. First of all, I was running 0 Karazes. So there was not a lot of times where I could actually destroy my own Return of the Monarchs, what would hinder me. Secondly, I'm not running a conventional build where I can actually have 2 tributes all the time, which means that I need that 1 tribute more than I need that 2 tribute. Domain makes all of my 6s or all of my 8 Monarchs 6, so I kind of went with that route. Basically, a lot of players would play, 1 Domain and 2 the Monarch Stormforth. I'm just gonna go ahead and play the 3 Domains, so I don't lose Monarch spell cards. I often send this, and I never really miss not having, the Return of the Monarchs. 3 copies of Tenacity. Tenacity searches whatever I want, and it's a Monarch spell card to banish. 3 copies of Brilliant Fusion because I'm running the best card of the deck, Dark Witch, and I'm also running, the Lazuli to add the Dark Witch. This card gets insane. I've made so many just insane combos with Brilliant Fusion. If you open Brilliant Fusion side Overdrive Teleporter, it's nasty for the opponent. 2 copies of Emergency Teleport. I know you guys are saying two copies for Emergency Teleport for only 2 targets, but no, I'm actually running 2 copies of Emergency Teleport with only 1 target. My only target is Blue Layer. Now, Blue Layer has been very resourceful in this deck as tribute fodder, as searching the Super Quantum Red Layer for Synchro ability. It's just an amazing card, and I want to see it as fast as possible. 1 copy of Tuning. I would like to run more copies of Tuning, but can't. Tuning is awesome. It allows me to search Quick Draw and the Jet Synchro to my hand. And then 2 copies of the Prime Monarch. Best trap card in the game right now. Anytime you can make a trap card a monster, and then you can Exceed and Synchro and all this other stuff with it, it literally becomes the best card of the deck. This card's awesome. I would love to run 3, but I don't need 3. That's it for the main board. Now I can get you guys to the sideboard, or the extra deck, I apologize. 1 copy of Thunder Charger. Thunder Charger is love, Thunder Charger is life. There's often times where I'll Volcasaurus my opponent's monster and then make Thunder Charger and go for game. That's literally how it goes. Beatrice, you make her with Psyframe, you make her with Psydrive, Overdrive Teleporter, I apologize. And normally you just steamroll your opponent from there. It sends the material that you need, and I don't care about, special summoning that Burning Abyss monster when she leaves the field. I don't play the Fusion. I just feel like I play better cards than, the Fusion. Constellar, Plutalomy, M7. Card's awesome. This card's awesome. Sometimes it gets rid of threats. Sometimes it recurses cards. Sometimes it does this. It's one of the cards that I don't go into often, but when I do, it's normally making some big push. 2 copies of Artifact Durandal. Durandal is not only to help with dead hands, but it negates opponent's spells and traps. It doesn't really negate it, it turns it to destroy my Brilliant Fusion, so that's always nice. 1 number 61 Volcasaurus. Volcasaurus is awesome. I just exactly said why Volcasaurus is good. Destroy opponent's monster, overlay with the Thunder Charger. Constellar Pleiades. This is actually one of the least summoned cards that I make, mainly because I don't really see a need to bounce cards. Sometimes I'll make it and I'll bounce my Prime Monarch, and it's all good. I use set the Prime Monarch, activate it, shuffle back in those cards. I mean, it's just one of the least summoned cards. Adrius, Mask Restrict, Anti-Spell Fragrance. And it's so easy to make Adrius in this deck because I'll just quick draw Erebus, and then I'll do some other things, wind up having the Prime in the graveyard, special summon the Prime, and then go into the Adrius, and now I can tribute summon. So yeah, that's it for Exceeds. For monsters, Ultimayo Zulkin. Card's godly. Literally, the card is the answer to everything. There's turns where I can make Durandal, Crystal Wing, and a Monarch on the field, or sometimes I'll even make Harbinger, so there's always that. Actually, I don't play the Harbinger right now. I've been switching in and out. If I were to take out a card for it, it'll probably be the M7, maybe. Crystal Wing Synchro. You summon this against the Monarch mirror match, you're probably gonna win because you're gonna negate their most important card, and it's a 3,000 beater. So it's really good at that, and it gets stronger on top of that. So it's an awesome card. Odd Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon. Again, I don't want you activating certain things. So when I'm going against the Cosmo matchup, I summon this, and then I can freely attack over their ships and stuff. This card is just really awesome for clearing monsters on the board. 3,000 attack, nothing much to scuff at. Oh. Next is 2 copies of Stardust Charge Warrior. Running 1 was awesome, But then there was times where I could make 2. So drawing 2 cards is also good. Obviously not in the same turn. It allows me to go for further rank 6 plays. So, you know, it's an awesome card in itself. And then the Gymnite Seraph Knight. I actually could drop one of these if I needed to. But then the Gymnite Seraph Knight, obviously for the Brilliant Fusion, card's the nuts. For the people that really doubt Monarchs or that doubt this deck saying, oh, it's inconsistent, well, I have a surprise present for you for the combo tutorial. Instead of me just telling you the combo tutorial, I'm just going to playtest hands for you guys.